Have you ever felt like your marketing or your marketing team or the things you see in the world are complex and hidden behind jargon and you don't really know what's going on? That probably is an indicator that you don't understand your product, the team doing it doesn't understand the product, or the thing you're trying to buy or look at doesn't understand what they do either. It's really confusing. What we're going to do is stop using the jargon and get back to bottom line stuff. So the next few minutes we're going to get rid of this thing called the marketing mystique, and we're going to simplify it, and then we're going to perform a thing called alignment surgery. Yeah, that's a marketing term that I made up. But what that's going to do, it's going to cut out the nonsense from your business and give you like an audit you can do in 10 minutes to figure out whether your content really works and really makes sense. Are you ready? Let's go and have a look. The purpose of today is to move you from this kind of complex, opaque thing to something that is more like frictionless growth, where people will work with you because of the content and the marketing that you're doing, rather than the complexity that you're trying to make your business sound like. Everyone wants to make their business sound like what we do is super important and super complex and we can't work without you. Well, the reality is 80% of what you do, other people can. All they need is a YouTube video. So why not give it away? Most people don't want to, they're scared of that. And remember this, there's a simple strategy, right? There's one truth that shifts the bottom line, and that one truth is your customer's pain, not your story. And the problem we have in business is there's a gap between what companies understand that they do and what they actually do. And if you don't know what you do, your customers will never know what you do either, right? We use kind of internal ego speak for a bigger company, we get lost in jargon, and we're not really solving the problem, and we're not really understanding our value. And if we can't define our own value, then how the heck would a customer understand that? In the 3 seconds you got to talk to them, it's not really going to work. Why does it happen? Well, we've kind of built a culture around making things complex seems to show value. And if something's really simple, it might look to the outsider as if you don't know what you're doing. And that's not really the truth. The simpler something is, probably the more you understand about it. So we've got to drop this notion and drop the ego that I need to have really complex and really difficult things in my world and in the job that I do to make people see value in it. I don't care how you do something, I just want it done. And if you can simplify how you've done it, that's great, right? And the other reason we make things complicated is we can't make them work. So we hide behind nonsense. So don't do that. And you can tell when someone's doing that. So if you can tell, other people can tell when you're doing it too. Okay. So what's the solution? As I said, alignment surgery. You're going to cut away everything that you're doing in your marketing that doesn't talk about a human truth. So what remains is the piece of human truth that's going to capture the customer's attention. And that is going to work. If you can't capture that attention in 3 seconds and you can't tell the human truth, you haven't simplified your message enough. So refine it. Okay. How do we do that? We're going to go from ego, we're going to go to empathy. We've got to stop telling ourselves the lie, and this is going to be an interesting one, okay? That the customers care about our journey and our origin story, and they follow every kind of single piece of content that we do. They don't. Chances of them seeing the last 5 posts you've done are pretty much zero, right? Unless they're really stalking you for some reason. And so you've got to drop that ego, right? And you've also got to drop the idea that we are the hero in those stories. And it's great to tell a brand story. There's nothing wrong with that. But in the day-to-day marketing that gets the sales across the line for most businesses, the protagonist isn't you. And the protagonist actually isn't your client. The protagonist is the pain that the client has and how you get rid of it. That's the main character in the story. If you highlight the pain and the solution as your story, then your clients will come to you. And you take away that friction, right? So you've got to change your view on what your digital presence is all about, okay? Your website, your social media, they're not places where it's a trophy room for your success. It's great to show that, but that's not the point. The website and the social media is a place to show how you solve pain. You're putting the pain as the protagonist, how you solve that. If you do that, you're giving reason after reason after reason and example after example after example of why a customer should use you. And it doesn't matter what you do. Okay? So make pain the hero in the story. Interesting, eh? And when you do that, you connect with the customer and then the friction to buy disappears because now you've solved the problem that they have and the pain has gone away. So now they want you to do it for them as well. Okay. And the reality is we build this through trust. Okay. And how do we build it through trust? Well, we build it through transparency and we build it through showing people and demonstrating to people that we know what we're doing and we are experts in it and things like that. The EEAT formula, expertise, examples of work, authority that you can do it, and then trust, right? And people are terrified of trust because they think if I give away stuff and show how simple it is, no one's going to use me. Well, 80% of the work you do, anyone can do anyway. They can find it on YouTube. So why not give it away and rather be stuck with the 20% of work that's actually interesting, probably pays more, and you like. And that shows trust. And believe me, that 80% that other people can do, most people don't have the time or the inclination to do it anyway. So you're pretty safe, okay? And those that do, they were never going to be your customer anyway. They're trying to find a shortcut to success. So let them go, let them have it, right? If you choose that over like sales tactics and trying to go, how do we navigate you past this problem and handling objections, which is sales, but it's not marketing. If you get away from trying to push people down a sales funnel so they need a salesperson to convince them, you're going to win with less friction. Okay, so the whole idea of sales is to handle objections. I'm trying to say if you do this marketing properly, a lot of that goes away anyway. Things like opaque pricing is one thing that really annoys me. When I don't know what things cost, I need to book an appointment. And then I get someone saying something like, so what is this going to cost you if you don't go with our solution? Like, really, dude? Okay. Because you want to move from that one-time transaction into a relationship and you build that with trust. There's a couple of messages for you that I think you need to think about, okay? And remember that if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Remember that jargon is almost always used to hide someone's misunderstanding of whatever they're doing or their competency. And always prioritize serving the client's bottom line over your bottom line and your ego and their ego. As I said, the ego is a different kettle of fish. It's a different way of dealing with the world, so don't go there. But serve their bottom line and serve their client's needs. In the digital world, you've got 3 seconds to connect, okay? You've got to use language that is concrete, right? Reduce churn by 50%. This tap lasts for 50 years. It's more expensive, but it lasts longer. So you've got a value choice to make there, okay? Give them something concrete. Don't give them abstract ideas about how you might change the universe, because that doesn't help, right? Give them stories that help your tribe, because that's what you're doing. If you're not, you're just shouting and making noise in the world, and no one needs noise. We've got enough noise out there. And please avoid the enterprise shell game, is what I call it. And that is where you're not transparent with your price and you're looking towards a sales team on a call who's trained in this to sell your product for you, okay? If you can avoid that and your business allows pricing or other information for a customer to make their own decision, the friction's going to go down. You're going to get the right people. Make sure that you're aligned with the right people, otherwise the message doesn't work. But try and get rid of that shell game. I absolutely hate it, and I learned that in SaaS. Never tell them the price because you need to get them on board. Well, that means it's probably expensive and maybe they don't need it, but you're good at convincing people, and people don't like being otherwise. They actually like being agreeable, so they're going to go with you, and they may last 6 months and then churn, but you've got 6 months out of them, and that's enough, you know, because there's billions of people in the world. You're not going to move an ego buyer like that, and that's okay, because they're going to be moved by other forces that you've got nothing to do, right? So let's stop hiding behind this mystique, right, and jargon, and cut everything back that you do to something really simple. Make sure it serves the customer. Make sure that the messages give the tribe something of value. So here's your little audit that we spoke about. You can take 10 minutes to do this. Go and look at your different social platforms. Go and look at your website. excuse me, and look at the content that you've put out. And if that content in 5 minutes doesn't give away some kind of value or some secret to your tribe that makes their life better, get rid of it. Okay, it's okay to talk about your origin story, obviously, and it's okay to do those kinds of things, but most of your content should be solving a problem and giving away information and showing how you solve brand points. And that gets rid of friction, right? Because that's what we want. So try that audit, see what your content's doing, and if you want to, be merciless and get rid of the stuff that isn't. Or if you don't want to get rid of it, promote the 2 pieces of content and see which one gives you the most sales. I bet I know the answer. So we're going to try and remove the friction, and we're going to get away from that kind of thing, and we're going to get back to the business of solving business problems and increasing the bottom line. That's it for this episode. Thank you so much. I'm Clint Griffin. This is the Unselling Philosophy podcast. Please like, comment, or share, and leave me a note about what you thought. I love to hear feedback. We will see you next week. And until then, keep it easy, keep it straight, and keep it simple. Cheers.